Well, guys, this is the first time doing a pod in the studio in like 3 months, probably.
It's
been a while. We got a new guest, Drew from Tricer. First timer. Yeah, we're going. I don't tell people when we go.
I
thought you were telling us like what was happening.
No, we're ripping. We're ripping.
Just freaking going.
So Drew here, he got his own podcast, Tricer podcast, as well as owns a tripod company.
That makes sense. Tricer Tripod owns a Tricer Tripod company.
Yep. New to 3D.
Cool. Yep.
So I thought
Is
we
that
had
the first one?
No, I've done
probably
a few.
fifth.
Fifth, yeah.
But I thought we had a good mix of people today, because obviously we're going to talk about the challenge, Bow Disciples Challenge, but we got a mix. We got two dudes that combined have shot 3D for 800 years, you know, and then Brianna shot a lot and was also a big part of the infrastructure of doing the shoot, and then a guy who is kind of newer to 3D, so I thought we had a great mix of people to talk about it. And Drew here has to, I think you got to lead off. So you're shooting a course, you get kind of a crazy phone call. You got to
So my, this is Saturday night. We're on our second course. We're shooting the bow and arrow shop. I didn't get to shoot the Bow Disciples course, which sucked. I wanted to shoot long.
Yeah.
Just because it's fun. Shooting long is so like really fun, just talk crap.
Yeah.
So we're shooting the Bow Disciples course, and we're on target 20. And my one of the sons that he got knee surgery, so he's at home in bed, 15-year-old. And my 17-year-old is working, doing yard work in East County. And I get a call from my brother-in-law. He's at my brother-in-law's house. And I'm like, man, I wonder if he got bit. Like, I just don't know why I said that. And I love my watch. Thank God I have the watch. I got the watch recently with the cell service on it. I forgot the phone. And he's like, hey, Drew got bit. What do you want me to do? Wow. And I'm just like, it's kind of like trying to register everything, right? I'm with all these people. And I was just like, you need to drive him. He's like, well, I'm going to call an ambulance. I'm like, no, you need to just drive him to Grossmont. Like, we don't have time to drive him to Grossmont. Yep. And I don't think it's a big deal, right? I think, like, give a snake, people do it all the time. Like, you know, he'll be all right. You got bit in the hand. Should say how I guess I can say how he did it.
Yeah.
He thought it was a gopher snake, and he held it for like 2 minutes.
Oh, no, I didn't even know that part. He held it that long?
He was holding it for like 2 minutes. Dude, he had a picture of it on his Instagram stories. I deleted it because I'll get it in a little bit. But
for the insurance or whatever.
No, I didn't do it for the insurance, but I deleted it because on accident. I thought it was on his phone, but he only took it on his Instagram stories, so it wasn't like saved to his phone. So I'm bummed about that. But yeah, I knew it was actually looking at it, but whatever, man, stupid kid. So then he's like, I'm gonna call an ambulance. Like, no, you can drive. So then he's driving to the hospital, and he calls me again. He's like, he's turning blue. I'm gonna pull over and call an ambulance. I'm like, BS, dude. You put your foot to the ground and drive.
Give him a ticket, whatever.
Get him to drive. Like, whatever it takes, get to the hospital. Get him to the hospical now.
That's faster, you know. You're already driving.
You're already driving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, as a paramedic, I can't condone that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
No, you're right. You did the right thing.
So so at this point, I told my wife, like, hey, it's all right. Just stay up here, get everything packed up. You guys come down a little bit. They're all at the shoot. My whole family's up there. My father-in-law's up there. My partner. I mean, it's just we got a whole thing at the shoot. And I get the call, and it's like, hey, you need to talk to the doctor right now. And I go to the doctor, he's like, I need permission to save your son's life. I'm like, what? Whatever he takes. And then he goes, bye. Hangs up the phone.
Wow. Dang.
So then I'm like, wow, this is serious. So I call my brother-in-law, or I call my father-in-law. I say, hey, look, this might be it. You need to get my wife in the car and get her to the hospital. Don't freak her out, but this is gonna be it.
Dang.
I call one of my pastors, and instantly have 1,000 people praying for him. Like, no joke, 1,000 people praying for him, like all over the world. I mean, we go to a big mega church in El Cajon, Foothills, and everyone's praying for this kid. So I'm doing like 120 through Ramona.
Dang.
I'm flying. I just passed it. I'm going.
Passing the sheriff's station.
Oh, dude, I'm going. I'm like, pull me over, right? Pull me over. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I need to the hospital because this might be it. Like this might be going to see him. He said, talking to him. So at this point now, they said when he walked in, because I get to the hospital, and he's on a breathing machine, feeding tube, whole nine, hands just giant.
I saw the pictures, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I talked to the nurse, and they're like, oh yeah, I was pissed. I thought he was a drunk kid. Like, I was like, oh, I don't want to deal with that guy's drunk. I guess what happens when you get bit, you get a ton of neurotoxins. This is a baby, a ton of neurotoxins in him.
Mm-hmm.
What it does is it shuts your brain down. Like, it doesn't mess your lungs up, your heart up. It shuts your brain down so you forget how your organs shut down. So you lose your function, so you don't forget how to breathe. So by the time he got there, he wasn't able to breathe. And he was turning blue, and they gave him minutes. And he said the last thing he remembers before he went under is him saying he's going to die.
Dang.
And he went under. And so I get there, he's on the thing, everyone's praying for him, and they're telling us he's going to move him to ICU. He's going to be down for at least a few days. Like, this is bad. Like, we're worried about losing fingers, hand, compartment syndrome, where you're getting that, like, almost like a frostbite looking black, you know?
Tissue necrosis.
Yeah. And so he was not, I call it a coma, but he was intubated. Intubated, I don't know. Call it a coma, it's layman's terms. They're like, he's not in coma. I'm like,
intubated is just a breathing tube down his trachea.
Yeah, breathing tube, feeding tube, whatever. For all intents and purposes, we could have kept him there for years and he would never know.
Right.
So they're telling us it's going to be a few days. We moved to ICU. I went home, got my bedroll, and I'm staying as long as this takes. I think I'm going to be there for a long time. That night, he had got 10 vials right away of antivenom. 15 G's a vial at least. Then the next morning at like 4 a.m., we're up and he's got a 14-inch bicep. It's gotten worse. He's swelling up all up his neck. I mean, he's just swollen. Dang. And so they gave him 10 more vials of antivenom. Now he's got 20 vials of rattlesnake venom in him.
So you're telling us you have the best insurance?
I got great insurance. I got great insurance.
If my math's correct, that's 300 grand,
yeah,
right?
300 G's. Yeah, at least, dude, at least. And this is
and that's only for the antivenom.
That's not. This is probably a $750,000 $1 million business. I don't know what it's cost us, but doesn't the insurance.
Yeah.
So, anyways, now they're like, we need to bring the surgeon. So we're thinking we're gonna have to lance him. They'll lance you, and they'll open you up and they just do long slits and open you up.
Yeah,
so the venom
just like a
can
burn.
come out.
No,
swelling.
Yeah, because it's so big.
It's kind of like when people rack their head and they like remove part of the
they
skull
take a
so
skull
the brain
cap
can.
off.
Yeah.
The brain
Okay, got it.
area to swell.
Yeah.
Or else you get intracranial pressure.
Got it.
Regardless, he's gonna be down for a few more days. And then the doctor walks in, and it's like, dude, the miracle of God. He's just like, oh yeah, no surgery. Take him off the breathing tube.
Just like that?
Just like that, 11 a.m. What? Yeah. So the doctor walks in. Okay.
Jeez.
Dude, they took him off. I had to sit there when you bring him off, like, he's so drugged up. Which, by the way, I mean, he can never drink because he would be the most obnoxious drug.
Yeah.
It was so annoying to look at this kid. Like, he's so doped up, and you have to breathe for an hour on your own. So he's awake now. They wake him up. He's awake with the feeding tube down his throat. How miserable is that? You wake up, you don't know where you are, and you got a breathing tube down your throat. Can't talk. So he's just pissed off and fired up. He's the most stubborn kid in the world. And I'm like, you can't flatline. So what happens is you watch your breathing thing, puts you shark fins, you flatline, it goes red. So like if he keeps flatlining, you can put him back under. Yeah. So I have to sit there for an hour and be like, 58 minutes, dude. 57 minutes. 56 minutes.
Each minute to him feels like an hour.
He flipped me off at one point.
Yeah.
And like, as soon as he was like, I thought he flipped the doctor off. Yeah. But he's high as a kite. This kid never flipped me off in his life.
Yeah.
And
did you laugh or did you smack him up?
Oh, I told him, I'm like, I don't care. No, you don't do that to the doctor. Like, I thought he was a doctor. He comes out, he's like fooling it. He's like, I don't care, dude. Like, I'll freaking smack you around. Okay, I'll die or not. At this point, I'm gonna kill you. You're already bringing me in through enough stress.
So the prayer worked, huh?
Oh, prayer worked, dude. So he comes
Amazing.
off, and they're like, he's gonna be here at least 5 more days. And then, dude, 2 more days later, we went home.
And how's he like now? Just totally normal?
Apparently his hand hurts too much to do dishes and stuff.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, clearly,
Yeah.
for sure.
I'm sure his hand will hurt for at least a year.
Dude, you can't do dishes, you can't take the trash out, but you don't have 2 hands. I'm always like, you got 2 hands, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm feeling a little dizzy.
Yeah.
So Chuck, when they do the like put you into a coma for something like that, I believe that's to kind of calm your mind down, right? To like stop the stress, essentially, right?
Well, it could have that kind of therapy.
But isn't it
effect,
allowed to
but it's
allow
really
the
just
body to heal?
Breathe.
Like,
it's really just for me to knock you out, so I can gain control of all your functions, and I can put you the way I want you. So now I
Gotcha.
just put you under.
Got it.
So now I can put you in the position. I can give you fluids. I can put a feeding tube. I can breathe for you. I can put you on a ventilator, supplemental oxygen. I just take over. And then that, of course, now there's no stress, and so now you can rest and heal. But that's really what it's for. We do the same thing. And you can do it in the field, actually. We have medications that we can knock someone out like that.
Wow.
He had so
But
many
it's because they're combative and hurting themselves.
so many neurotoxins that he couldn't control, like his twitches, right? So they like all these uncontrollable shivers, like in his face and his hands. It's a trip. Like I thought, like I never wear snake gaiters And now I'm kind
Now
of
you're
like,
thinking it a little bit.
yeah, because I mean, like, it's one. I mean, he picked it up. He's an idiot. He admits it. Stupid kid. Kids do stupid stuff. Kids go to the ICU all the time,
Yeah,
crashing
of course,
cars,
of course.
crashing dirt bikes, crashing bikes.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
made a mistake.
Yeah.
I don't matter to him, right? Just
Yeah.
No, of
freaking
course
happens
not.
as long as you're alive. Like,
Messing
could be
with
playing his-
beehives.
I could be playing his,
all kinds of stuff.
throw rocks. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could be playing his funeral right now. So,
Yeah.
but here's the guy's
Yeah.
alive.
Yeah, man, that's incredible.
But,
It's
like,
incredible to me
shut
that you
the
can
fan
even
off.
talk about
Oh,
it
yeah.
so
Just in
calmly.
case. The audio.
It's got to be pretty traumatic for you guys. Oh,
Yeah,
geez.
well, the thing is for me,
I'm a
like,
dad, so I know what you went through.
yeah, so I don't know, like,
That's
if
right.
he got, it could be that he's just got, a worse reaction, because they said it was the fastest reaction they've ever seen. Like, meaning, like,
So
he,
maybe he has an allergy too or something.
something, it
Yeah.
could be, but I'm like, man, dude, if he got hit
Again.
up in Palomar,
Yeah, go
he
over.
wouldn't have made it.
No,
No.
that's
He
crazy.
wouldn't have made it. But again, it was on his-
Even if he was at the shoot and got bit, probably it's too far.
well, the thing is, too, if you get bit in the leg, it's a lot better.
Oh.
Because it's got to go so much further.
Mhm.
You get bit on your left hand, there's like a straight line to your heart,
Yeah.
right? A straight
Yeah.
vein, that vein runs right to your heart.
Gravity's not helping me anymore.
Yeah, and he's like, so that the hand thing. So like, moral story: don't pick up rattlesnakes. But at the same time, I'm thinking like, dude, like, we're out all the time. We're climbing rocks, and when we hunt, we're not hunting like on the trail. Like Cow's Mountain, you see a snake, it's like, oh, there's a trail. Like we're hiking. Like, how many close calls do you have?
Quite a few in summer. I mean, I've bumped into a lot of snakes, but generally it's you see them and get out the way, let them move or go
Yeah.
around them, picking them up. Because when I first heard about this, first of all, someone walks up and goes, "Did you hear Drew's son got bit by a rattlesnake?" In my head, I thought it was at the venue. And I was like,
Exactly. That's what
oh
I thought.
no, and they go, "Oh, it wasn't here, I guess." And I was like, well, that's better at least, like, no, like,
Yeah, for real.
But and then I was like, "How did it happen?" And they go, "Well, you picked it up." And I go, "How old is he?" And they go, 17. I was like, I feel like it's 17, but then like the baby ones, you can't tell.
You couldn't tell.
So when the whole story came together, I was like, I totally understand how the situation happened. I mean, look, when I was a kid, I caught a fish. We thought it was a guitar fish, and I held it,
Oh,
and it was a stingray because they hide their stingers inside their tail, and then he whipped it out, bam, and I still have the scar to this day right here, and it hurts so bad. But people could go, "What an idiot kid holding a stingray!" But
Yeah, because my mind and
I didn't know.
being a Floridian, you
Kids
see
do
countless
stuff like
that.
stingrays, and I'm like, I don't know how you mistake a stingray.
well, they look similar
But,
to these
yeah.
guitar fish a little bit, and
I've never seen a guitar fish.
Well, so aside from that,
Thank God he's okay.
yeah, 100%. Thank God, that's amazing. So many people praying too. Your church family,
the
people
people
at
at
the
the
shoot.
event, you're the
Oh,
shoot,
it's
your
spread
dad,
to the shoot.
Your
Everyone,
your dad
yeah.
and mom are praying for him like crazy.
course.
People told me.
Yep. So prior to that, what was your experience at the shoot? Because I know, like I said, we've done one together, and I believe it was your first one ever.
Yeah, that was
actually.
the first one ever. Yeah.
And then since then, you've done a couple. But what did you think of, number one, the venue and how it was ran, the target set? Just like, what did you kind of think of it?
Man, I'm just like so proud of you guys for like going there and seeing it, like how much work you put into it. And I think what you guys are doing up there is more than just like a local archery shoot. Because there's a bunch of local archery shoots.
Yeah.
I think what you guys are creating is like the beginning stages of a destination shoot.
Yeah.
I think that this shoot could be so much bigger. And I'm not saying it wasn't big this year, but I'm thinking like, I don't want to say it's going to be TAC. I don't think it'll be that. But like,
Right.
but I think that people want to come to San Diego.
Yeah.
And that you potentially start getting people coming in from Nevada and, up north, Northern California coming down here for this shoot because it's a big, cool shoot at a great venue.
Yep.
And you have the space to have a lot more people.
Yeah.
I agree, 100%.
So to speak on that, I think partly because of our platform on YouTube, that's already happening a little bit. Like last year we had people from 5 states, this year 8 states. I was shocked how many people came from all over California this year, from all over the state. So people definitely are already traveling to it, but I think you're right. I mean, next year I wouldn't be surprised if there's people from 20 states, maybe even another country, like I could see it happening. But I mean, for me doing a lot of shoots, and Brianna's was such a big help in this, is I think where the ball gets dropped a lot of times is on the production and like the scheduling, how stuff's ran, and the ease of, the machine, like how it goes once you're in. So we put a lot of effort into making it simple.
Throw me in the back seat, I'll drive.
Yeah, like making stuff.
You've got to have the background stuff, and obviously James's YouTube is the biggest promoter of it. And then they come because they want to shoot what kind of course would Bow Disciple set, like being James. They know he loves long stuff, fun stuff. Like they're expecting something that's a higher standard.
Mm-hmm.
But then all that background stuff, whether it's Matt's work on the course and two minds together debating what would work on the course to make it even more interesting, and then whether it's flagging, signage, marketing, graphics, all those like little details that makes it, it won't be tack. Like you don't want to have a scale for it. You don't have the venue size for it.
Yeah, you don't have a gondola.
Yeah, I don't have it. That's number one. You got to have a gondola. Or you got to drive people up in buses. So we don't got that either.
I
But
prefer to start them at the bottom and send them up. Make them walk
I would love
down.
to start at the top and come down. But,
Yeah.
25's up
I
top.
could wish. But all of that together kind of makes people feel. I think destination event is the best verbiage for it. It's
Really, it is.
it's something you can come and have a whole weekend of stuff to do. And like we've already talked about things for future years, but all those little things on top of having great courses and a great venue to host it at is what makes you feel like you've got this event, not just a day shoot.
A shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seriously, it's a great way to describe it.
So what did you think? You shot all 3 courses.
I did. I shot
and
all 3 courses.
And you were there last year, so I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, I was there last year. I thought it was great. I mean, I liked the variety of the 3 courses. I liked the way it was kind of, not to say that there was an easy one, but the 20 to 40 was at one level, and then the bow and arrow shops was the next step up, and then the Bow Disciples was harder. But I'm a critic, too, of TD shoots and target setups. Because I do those shoots to just be a better bow hunter. So you're hoping for bow hunting scenarios in your setup, and the 20 to 40 was money on that. And so was the rest of them. Of course there were novelty shots, 120 yarders and stuff, but I think what makes that thing possible is Santa Isabel. That terrain's beautiful.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have, how many total targets was there? 70?
72 if you
So,
count 2 in that.
I wouldn't be a fan if the 70 was in a flat field and we tried to manage, even like Aranco in that way is kind of like that. But
Which I like
to
Aranco,
have
but it's
such a
different.
beautiful terrain and such a pretty place with a view of the lake even too, and then you got deer tracks and turkey feathers all over the place. For a hunter, that's the appeal.
Yeah, it's funny when you get that many people out there. It's unfortunate because the building days leading up to it, and by days I mean months.
Yeah.
There were so many times, especially right before, like the week of the shoot. I have pictures Ted would send me because he knew I was real dedicated to turkey season. That didn't pan out so well. 3 times didn't pan out so well. Turkeys, like toms galore in the campground, and then I would be walking to targets and I jump deer out of their beds.
Nice.
So it sucks when all the people show up and it's like, oh, you don't actually see it, but like there's so much wildlife out there.
And I think like you're saying about it being a event, or a destination shoot. I don't think I personally, I'm from New England, so I would have never guessed that San Diego had beautiful terrain like that. I've seen that when I go on strike teams and stuff, up through Paso Robles and that area of California. Absolutely beautiful in its own way,
Yeah.
But Santa Isabel is a little piece of that down here, so you can't get that in a lot of places, It's beautiful.
And getting to shoot it, I think the way you did it this year, like we didn't say like, one day you can only shoot 2 courses or whatever. It was like you buy a 1-day pass, you buy a 2-day pass, and we extended the time so you can shoot until. We were out there and we tried to blow through Bow and Arrow Shop, like almost running through the course. And there are still people out there. They got their, I almost called them boom boxes. I almost
It
aged
was.
myself. But they're out there just shooting, and they're like, I think it was after 4 now. It was going on 5. They're like, we're just leisurely shooting. Like, go on past us. It's fun to see, like, they can go out and shoot as many times as you want. You want to go back and do the course 5 times in one day?
That's nice.
Go for it. You want to go back out at 3:55 before the course, closes to people going out at 4? You could shoot all day and evening, and it's like, how often do you get to do that?
And there was no sketchy shots where you were worried about the people clearing the previous target and stuff. So you could do that.
And we put a lot of effort into that, but
Could tell.
I've done some shoots that there's like some unsafe stuff, and I don't blame them for it. It's like you just be smart and try to avoid it. But for us, it's like we want everything to, first of all, you can never see a cone or a target from any other cone or target.
Yeah.
And so like everything we build was like fully, you're like clear.
Did you make that trail yourself?
We bored all the trails, yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe that. It is gnarly.
Yeah.
They were good
Sometimes you
trails, too. The
encounter
trail quality was
original
outstanding.
trails. Most of the time.
Sometimes we'll reuse one we made last year or that Bear State had, but everything is linked by stuff that we built, and the craziest thing was you didn't get to shoot Bow Disciples, but y'all both did, and you know how crazy that last uphill is, where it's just uphill forever.
Yeah,
You're
we
dying.
actually split off. We were in a group of 4, and we actually, Mackie and I just split up at that point by ourselves because someone in our group was like, I need to take a break.
Mm-hmm.
So like, okay, we'll see you later, and we kept trucking. But that's what makes that place a destination shoot, is because it's not going to be a boring thing. You're going to get a hike in. It's adventurous. You're looking for the next spot. And there was so many targets where we would get there, and the first person to arrive would go, "Do you see it?
No,
I don't see it. Where do you see it?"
There's
And
a
we're
bunch of
literally
them.
looking
That
around like
stupid
hunters.
panther.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, there it is.
We could not find that panther. It's like
Yeah.
Blends in with the tree,
Yeah.
you're looking behind you, like, what's it here?
Yeah, at first you got to
That's
find the
funny.
target.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Have you shot a tack yet?
No, I'm gonna shoot 2 this year though.
Oh, sweet.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, because you're going to Utah, aren't you?
Utah
too?
and Montana.
Oh,
killer.
look at that.
Yeah. Utah.
Well,
Nice.
James knows, like, when we're building these courses and I'm out there like, no, it needs to be harder. And then we get out there and we're safety
She was
checking
making me
windows
tone
and
them
stuff, and
down,
I'm
actually.
like, gap it out, it's
Yeah.
too small. But, there are those hard ones to find that I contemplated. I was like, should we put ribbon around these targets like tack does so people can spot them easier? I don't know, because you get in certain shady spots, you cannot see the target.
The
You just
panther
have
in
to
the
know.
tree.
Yeah.
That one I
And that
couldn't
tree's
even-
all black. 'cause
I
it's
was
burnt.
looking all over the place.
Yeah.
The one
Yeah.
I heard people had the most trouble finding, I knew it would
Dinosaur.
happen, was a dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
Yeah,
Oh.
Because
that was
it's
hard.
like you're on top, you're so high.
Yeah, we were way
And
up,
you're
looking down in this valley,
Yeah.
going, "Where's this
But
target?"
see, I kind of like it. Like, you find it.
Yeah,
If you don't find
I liked that
skip
about
it,
That's
you know?
what makes it
yeah,
a notch
you know?
better than
Yeah.
your standard weekend archery.
That's
TV
one
shoot.
that section
Yeah.
is actually my favorite, maybe my
Favorite
favorite
view
section we
section.
built, other than the end of Bow Disciples where it's just crazy.
Mhm.
And I'll get back to the story I was going to tell, but that dinosaur section, we actually wanted to build into that last year,
Mhm.
but it was our first year, and we were like, the time isn't really there, and it's so thick. This year we're like,
Still can't
no,
believe
we're
you
doing
guys
it.
did
We
all
have
that.
more time. We're doing it. We just
Wow.
bored through like the nastiest stuff to build a
Yeah.
trail down there. But I love how you get on that little point. You got to find the dinosaur. You
Yeah.
shoot the dinosaur. The trail's epic to it through
Yeah.
the like thick
I
stuff.
helped cut that line too.
And if I remember
still
correctly,
got
there's a
there.
down
I knew
tree
I was
there.
shooting that direction.
No,
Couldn't find the
that
dinosaur.
one.
James and Matt had to point it out to me, and I was like, how did I miss this?
But then I
helped build it, and I couldn't find it.
Mhm. But then I
Yeah.
love when you pull your arrows and sends you down into more new stuff, and then you shoot that bear almost straight up.
I
You
missed
know?
that bear, and
Standing up,
that's still
standing
my
up.
favorite
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah, I love that section
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
it is a good section.
Yeah.
What I really liked about those shots, though, was there was, I don't know, maybe at least a half a dozen targets that were a tunnel of, you had to go through this tunnel of brush or a tree or something. I like
Those
that.
are the best trails
Yeah.
where it like arches over,
Mhm.
and a lot of the bow disciples at the end. It's unfortunate you didn't get to shoot,
know.
but you had more important things to go do
exactly.
and take care of.
Exactly.
That end, you do a lot of little like tunnel stuff and that uphill stuff. So you didn't get a lot of shade if you needed to stop and take a
Yep.
break. But
That's
those are
what I
the cool
find,
little
Yeah.
trails that were unfortunately a lot of poison oak to.
Dude, I
I
got
didn't get it.
that. So like, I spend a lot of time in the gym. Like, not like ugh, but like, I never use the rubber boxes.
Yeah.
I always use the wood box because if you miss, it's gonna hurt. Right? I want to miss and know that I'm gonna rip my shin up.
Yeah.
Dude, that
Gotta
course, if you miss, you're getting poisoned up.
Yeah.
So there was like a consequence to James's courses
Yeah.
where if you miss, like there's times you're like, I don't want to go in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a
1000%.
write-off.
I'm so convinced I
Yeah.
don't get it because I didn't.
Yeah.
I crawled in and did a couple of them and didn't get any poison.
Brianna got fooled by
I thought I didn't get poison oak, but I just realized Technu works really well
It
on
does,
me.
yeah.
So I stopped using Technu for a little while. Worst decision I've ever made. I looked like, I tell the story probably countless times now, but if you've ever seen the movie Hitch, and when he eats that fish on that date,
Oh, yeah.
and he has to go buy Benadryl, and he's drunk at the store from drinking it, and his eyes are like swollen shut, I looked like Hitch. I could make a meme of myself next to him, and I looked that bad.
Gotta post that.
No
Yeah, side
no
by
one will
side.
ever see those pictures. They will not see the light of day. They are horrible. But I get poison oak real bad, I learned. So
I've only got it
Even-
once.
I've got it.
At a fire.
I can just I can tell I touched
touched
many little leaves while I was out there because now I can't stop itching. Like one there, one there, one there. I got one on the back of my
It's
leg.
not bad. It's just like itchy, But I've been
Yeah.
blasted.
The
but-
key is just stay, like I kept saying to everyone, keep your hands and feet in the trail at all times.
That's
Stay on the trail.
It's an
And you'll be
outdoor
fine.
event. It's an
Maybe
outdoor.
we use those
Yeah.
pictures of you on signs next
Yeah,
year.
Yeah.
for sure.
I'm like, hey, warning.
Right over the James will
Brianna
put his new
says,
logo.
"Stay on trail."
And we
Little
did,
puppy,
It's an
swollen
outdoor
face.
event.
We
This could
did.
be you.
We did actually have.
This could be you.
One of the vendors, VFW, they were also a course sponsor, Ramona VFW, and they actually sponsored the first 10 veterans or ex-veterans who signed up, free passes.
Ex-veterans.
No way.
Did I
Did
say
you
it
just
wrong?
call them ex-veterans?
Yeah, it is.
Well, veterans are veterans.
Oh,
They're
active-
active duty.
duty or veterans?
Yeah, so they were free the first 10 to sign up, which I thought was pretty cool. But in their booth, they also
I
had
should have
a
signed up earlier.
decontamination
Yeah.
stuff, which is
Doug,
cool.
Doug was
Yeah,
good
they
dude.
had tech.
Doug's
Doug's way cool.
Isn't he?
Yeah, so he's already on board for next year, so he'll be there again next year. But
Epic.
so anyway, Matt and I are shooting a Sasquatch target with people as they come through on Bow Disciples. This dude comes through by himself in the morning, hustling a pretty good pace, and he's just shooting through. And I go, I think I had seen him the day before, but I wasn't positive, so I say, "What's up?" He shoots the Sasquatch. I see him hustle up, past the group, hustle down, and I'm like, that dude's a beast right there. Hour goes by. Here he comes again, up to me and Matt. And I go, "Weren't you just here?" He goes, "Yep, I ran it once. I'm going to go run it again." He was running the course.
Wow.
He said, "Yeah, I missed my workout this morning, so I'm just going to run it again."
For anyone who says that
And
course
shot
is
every
impossible,
He
there
shot
you go.
all of them.
It's
Wow.
possible.
He shot all of them and ran even the uphill. He would pull his arrow, sprint to the next cone, shoot it. I'm like, this guy's a savage. He was shooting the
Yeah.
DCAs. Come on,
Not
man.
me.
I
I'll
think
walk
he's
in,
onto
but-
something though. Wouldn't it be funny to have an event where you
Race
actually we're on a stopwatch
Yeah. Oh.
and your scorecard and your time mattered?
Mhm.
Oh, that,
That
would
would
be
be
a funny
interesting.
one.
In motocross, they call that speeding style. You can do like they have like
Right.
2 trick jumps,
Uh-huh.
and you can. It's a race, a timed race. But then if you say throw like a Superman flip, and the guy you're against only does like a no hander, you
Yeah.
cut time.
That
Okay,
that
awesome.
Red Bull one that
Yeah,
Bierman
that's
does.
Yeah, Bearman, and they do it
Yeah.
at X Games too.
Yeah, that
Pretty
sounds
sick.
Awesome.
He's a big Supercross fan, just like me and Paul.
Oh, cool.
I'll be going
Yeah.
to Paul. You're not going to Paul, though, you said, right?
Nah, I would.
I am too. I just haven't been forever.
Paul is this
That'd be
weekend,
fun.
Saturday.
No way.
Yeah, Paul is this weekend.
It's the first outdoor national of the year.
No way.
$65. You can go have a great time.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Outdoor
100%. I would love to go.
How
I
many
mean,
fans usually go there?
Quite a
Is it-
few.
Is it
It's quite a
mayhem?
few. No,
Yeah.
it's not mayhem at all. But it's like got the like kind of like the Verona Speedway vibes or the Cajon Speedway vibes. You know what I mean? It's like open seating. I'm gonna bring my Tricer Easy up and put it in the one corner we sat last year, trying to get on TV. I don't know if they're gonna stop me, But I'm like, well, last year I sat there and everyone had easy ups. So I'm like, I'm going to the Tricer one here so I can be on NBC the whole time, you know?
That'll be sick.
See, the last time I
Nice.
went to Paula was to the range, and I used my Tricer tripod out there.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Yeah.
He's ran a Tricer since like pretty early. When did you get yours?
As soon as I found out about them,
It's like
because I needed
2021?
one. So I didn't have a big one. I only had a small, like, sitting one. So then once I saw that Instagram ad that you guys had where you were.
Oh, the
Oh,
funny
yeah.
one. I said
Yeah.
that to
Iconic
James.
ad.
I was like, hey.
I took that on my phone,
Yeah.
and they have just used that thing like crazy. It just works. The ad just freaking works.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people be like, "Hey, you're leading off in the Tricer ad," and I go, "Yeah, I told them I'm gonna start charging royalties," and they go, "Well, you are the best one in the ad. You're so like stoked on it."
Dude, well, Matt's got a white claw,
Yeah.
and he gets hammered. I have to delete comments all the time, like,
Oh my god.
nice white claw fag. It's like, I gotta delete him all the time. He's getting hammered for drinking a white claw.
No way.
White Claws are good.
I can't buy anything that a guy who's drinking white claw would buy.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Were you there Saturday night at the event or?
No, I was gone.
So
Yeah,
you got
like
paid
5
on
o'clock.
Saturday,
5 o'clock Saturday. I was
and
gone.
you had a cabin and everything too, huh?
Oh yeah, we had,
Dang.
I had 4 cabins.
Dang. Yeah, so he missed the show, but we got to talk about the show a little bit. How much Jack killed it. The lighting. Shout out to Tim and Job Site Supply helping out
And
with the
the
lighting.
lighting.
Yeah.
It was crazy,
Yeah, it
dude.
was
Like
good.
it was cool because when Jack started, it was pretty bright out still, so you
Yeah.
couldn't really see the lights on Jack. But then by the time it finished, he
Yeah.
was like all lit up.
It was
and
the
everything.
perfect
But
time for a show. with
The
sun
sun was
setting
setting right over his right shoulder. So
I have
for
some
us, we
phenomenal
were
pictures.
watching the beautiful sunset, which then transitioned into good lighting on his show. So it was pretty awesome.
there. Yeah.
What'd you think of the songs he chose and then like
I
his
liked
singing?
it. It's good variety. I liked how he threw down a couple of oldies for us old dudes.
If you could throw anything in there for next year, what would it
Oh,
be?
that's a good question.
As far as his set,
Yeah, like a
Uh-huh.
song to throw it.
oh, I'd have to talk to him because there's a couple of I don't know, one or two, like a Morgan Wallen song or something like that I really like. That new album's sick. So there's
Yeah,
there's
that
some,
would probably take some talking
there's
into
some
there.
good ones
He's
on there.
I
He could do
suggested
it because
what
Morgan
was
Wallen
it?
doesn't have a crazy voice, so he could do that.
Yeah. Well, I said Cody Johnson, who he's a big time Christian. He's very country, like
Probably too
very
new
to
age
the
for us.
roots.
I mean,
yeah.
Too new age,
He's like
yeah.
he's too new
He
age.
played like Tom Petty or anything?
No, he played Creedence Clearwater though.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Tom
he
Petty
played
would
Hank Williams Jr.
Geez, there's 100 songs he could.
Yeah.
You know,
He's
Yeah.
going to do a whole new set list next year, and
Yeah.
here's the coolest
he
part.
did
So
good.
he finished the show, and some people that came down from like Central California that are cattle ranchers, they were all like 20, 21, walk up to him, and the one guy goes, "Hey, like." Basically, all his friends actually, because he was too humble to say it. They're like, "This guy's like an absolute savage on the guitar," and he whips out his guitar, and they're sitting by the fire playing and ripping it again, a different like set.
Oh, I saw a short. clip
Yeah,
of that.
short
Is
clip.
that on that?
On Jack, yeah, Jack put
Okay,
it up.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
next year, Jack is going to have a guitarist
Nice.
plus a background singer at least, and I guess the guy plays keys, so he might bring a keyboard
We're
as
gonna
well.
have
All right, now we're
Full band up
talking.
there.
Yeah, I could say like
No, thought
I
you
got the
did.
cabins. I've been to Henshaw. I used to be an MCC member, and the cabins are great because you want to go up there and just camp. It's easy. But my trailer's in the shop. Next year I will stay over with you guys because like
Yeah,
there's a different vibe. Even though you're only a quarter mile away,
Yeah.
there's a different, like staying in the campground is like a different vibe. It's almost like beach camp with a bunch of people or going to the
Yeah.
desert with a bunch of people because
Totally.
like it's a bunch of like-minded dudes. I
Yes.
more going to the desert, so everyone's over there having fun. Like I'd love to bring the cornhole out next time, some horseshoes maybe, some bocce,
Yeah,
and just get out there with
yes.
the kids.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, and like my kids were going around, and like everyone's so cool, man. Like Derek, he's a paraplegic.
Oh yeah,
My
yeah.
yeah.
kid thought Derek was the coolest dude, and he would not leave Derek alone. He was out there playing in Derek's fire,
That's adorable.
wanted to go marshmallows with Derek. He just thought my
That's cool.
4-year-old, and it's just a cool vibe, man.
Yeah.
You could totally bring the family to this, and it wasn't like rowdy. Like, I don't think it's
No.
going to be condoned. I don't think you guys want rowdy. I think it's like
No.
it's like an event where you can go there and really enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It wasn't lights out at 8, but
No.
you're right.
Yeah.
It wasn't rowdy.
Yeah,
I,
for
I
For sure,
told
it
him-
was.
For us, we went out there and brought our camper out there. We got there early Friday afternoon, and that was my intent. And I told James I felt like I was a million miles away from work.
Oh yeah.
I had the greatest weekend, and it's right here. And that's something that you can't do at other shoots.
Mhm.
Well, they shoot, of course, you're not. You're coming
Yep.
and going. But other places, you're
But even
like,
just all the
for
venues
us-
here in Southern California just don't allow for that. There's no space for it. There's no
Yeah, it's a
location for
unique
it.
thing. Wait, I get to take my bow with me and play with my bow for 2 days and go camping
And
and
bring
hang
the
out with great
wife or my
people and get a
kids.
show
Yeah.
Mhm.
and see a beautiful place and a beautiful view and it's just money.
You definitely put time into it. Like, I think,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like an expert 3D archery shooter guy, but I've been doing a lot now, right? I'm kind of
Yeah.
going, I got the bug. Like, I'm
Yeah.
shooting all the time. I'm
Yeah.
doing a bunch of archery hunts this year. It's kind of like, it's kind of like the Wild West in San Diego shoots right now. It's kind of like you show up, it's like, oh, yeah, $14 later. Like, what? Like, what's going on? There's no, like, you guys really, you can tell it's actually an event.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with, like, our local stuff. It's kind of like free stuff by, like, clubs, and they're not
Yeah.
out there, it's just, we show up and shoot this thing every month.
Yeah.
But you definitely put a lot of time into it. Like, I can't imagine, like how many hours did you guys put in?
We're gonna try
Still
to
gotta do that.
total it up, but I mean, when you count up all the people, all the hours, I mean,
And you gotta be making
hundreds,
like
and hundreds.
$2 an hour.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Total. I mean, like,
basically.
you guys put. That's the cool thing is, like, you did it to create something for the community.
Yeah.
Like, I really appreciate you guys. Like, it's like
Yeah.
you guys weren't doing it for the. Like, I saw the hours print. I'm like, there's no way
No.
this was worth the hours. But you did something that was so cool that I think it's just
Yeah.
going to grow.
Yeah.
And it's like an investment in the future of
Totally,
motorcycles and these shoots. And like,
Yeah.
I was blown away. Like, I
Yeah.
can't believe you guys
Appreciate
cut
that.
that stuff in.
Yeah.
Blown away.
I think the word of mouth is going to be nothing but positive. It was incredible.
I
Well,
didn't hear him on the plane.
and this year, what was crazy is last year we had a lot of people too. We had 159 shooters. This year we had like 235, I think.
237 when you count
I could
it,
not.
Jeff.
I can't believe there's that
Oh,
many.
hey, dude,
You
that's
couldn't
my
even tell.
number.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
how
so-
big it is out
It's so
there.
spread out.
You can fit
That's
so
weird.
many
Like,
more.
I've been to shoots where he was backing up, and like, I can't believe there's 250 people there. Like,
Yeah.
shooting,
Yeah.
250 shooters. Not just. I mean, there's probably 400 or 500 people there. That
So the only reason we were able to pull off the flow, and this case was the same last year, is because we spread them across 3 courses in a big area. So I told a
We
guy.
never waited.
No, a guy
No,
asked
really
me. He said, "How many people you think you'll have next year?" I said, "Well, if our growth curve's the same, it'll probably be relatively close to like 400 to 500, somewhere in that range." And he goes, "Honestly, I think I waited on a group one time,
Mm-hmm.
but I shot all 3 courses."
Wow.
So he goes,
Yeah,
"I think
that's
you have the
incredible.
capacity for it." I
Yeah.
go, "I agree 100%. The only thing we
Yeah.
might have to change is just like spread people a little more like rigidly, but even
maybe knock times or something.
something like that."
Yeah.
But even then, like this year, we didn't do that at all. We were even more just go out there than
Yeah,
last
last
year.
year we were
and there
so
was
nervous
less
about
waiting.
it. We were like, okay, James sat out there for like the first couple hours and was directing people based on what they were interested in doing and then sending them out to certain courses. This year, I mean, I just checked people in. I was like, I'll tell you about the courses, pick whichever one you like, and then I told them where they were, and then they went course maps, by the way, next year. Got to be a poster. I realized that after the
Onyx,
fact.
dude. I got some hookups. I have some real good hookups with Onyx. Just did a podcast with them yesterday.
Okay, cool.
Like, let's get you with Onyx and get them to sponsor. And like, you should just have, hey, here's the trail for this one. Here's the trail for this one. Here's the trail for this one. And give them pins for every freaking target.
Yeah.
Not target for don't give them the target, but
The
for
cone.
The cone.
the cone.
Yeah.
Dude, you could totally do it on Onyx so easily.
Because
Yeah,
that's how we
absolutely.
built the courses.
That's how we
So
built them,
I made maps
So you have the
using
tracker.
Onyx.
You use tracker.
Yep.
So you just share that tracker with everybody. You know.
Yep.
And if they don't have Onyx, well, then you download it. You know,
Yeah.
put an Onyx
Yeah.
booth in, and they
If Onyx has a booth, they could have 3 QR codes, one for each course or one for all of them. And then, if people don't have it, it's a great spot to download it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the good thing. Even though you're kind of out in the middle of nowhere-ish,
Yeah.
there's still service out there. Like, I have
Yeah.
serviced the entire
Crazy.
course.
I can believe
Thankfully, you had service.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just a great venue and event because someone was talking about it. They're like, this was better than some. And give them credit again. It's not better than all tax, that's for sure. I
No.
freaking love
No.
tax. But they're like, it's better than some of the tax we've been to. Like, we drove 3 hours to be here, and we would absolutely do it again because for us, anything similar to this, we got to drive up to Northern California, another 6 hours north of us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So there's nothing like that in Central or Southern, other than the Big Bear shoot.
I've heard Big Bear's pretty
Which
good.
is, that's still not even quite central,
You're talking
I
about
guess.
the High Sierra one that's coming up this
No,
week?
that's
it's
Northern
called the
California.
Big Bear shoot, but
Oh,
that's a
okay.
tournament, so it's a
Oh,
little
okay.
bit different. That's
Really?
like an actual
When is
sport
that?
tournament. It's early August, I believe, which I plan to go to if I can. But
Yeah, and then there's the High Sierra one done by Team Whiskey. They do 2 different
Coming right
shoots, one beginning of June, one middle of June. So that's like, and that are, I don't know their numbers yet, but then you have Reading, which is a competition
Massive.
again,
Yeah, it's
and
also a
massive.
national.
But it's all up north. You got Lake Tahoe, you've got
And Reading's a big tournament too, so like those are different things, you know.
Yeah.
Like Big Bear's
Yeah.
a tournament.
fun
Yeah.
shoot wise, event wise,
Yeah.
destination, just fun
Mhm.
shoots.
Yeah.
And next year, that's one thing I want to. I mean, we have a few things we're gonna do next year. We already have planned out, but one of them for sure. And I wanted to do it this year and just kind of forgot about it. And then I didn't pan out. But I would love to have a place where if you want your scores to be compared, you can drop your card
I
and
got
then
one for
we'll
you.
do an
I got
Excel
everything.
sheet.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Is it like an app or a
Dude,
website?
I downloaded an app for it, and it gave me a leaderboard. So like as we're going, it told me who's in first.
That's
You
incredible.
need it. It's so
That would
easy.
be sick.
It has your name,
That
everything
would
right
be
there, but you
so
need to get a
fun.
Bodisciples app. It's gotta be so cheap to do.
Yeah.
Like you need to make a Bodisciples archery app just for like this stuff. Like it's.
There you go.
And I was gonna tell you that
Talk
before.
about-
Like I downloaded one. Like I put my phone in there, so I didn't
Yeah.
want it ringing. But it was cool. So we had like 5 people shooting with us, and you'd be able to punch your score in every single time, and it kept a leaderboard for you.
And
Yeah,
does
and we
everybody
could-
punch
we
their
could
own
curate.
score?
No, I had
or
one
you
guy
did
punched
for
it.
'em?
You
Gotcha.
probably can make it so they could communicate, but I just punched it for everybody. Like so they'd call it out, be like James, James
10.
12.
Yeah.
Chuck 12.
Brianna 8, Chuck 10,
Ooh, hey, you're
Drew
giving me a
5.
lot of credit.
Drew
Yeah.
5. You know what I mean? And you just punch it in, and then like as you're
Give it to
going,
me.
you're able to be like, "Hey, I'm one." So a couple times I was like one behind, and then you're like stepping your game up. Because I went on a string
Yeah.
of 5s that were
Yeah.
just like killing me.
Me too.
I shot so
I
good
started with that.
I heard about
on the first course I shot on. I just wasn't shooting good, and then I shot the Bono shot course. I shot lights out, shooting great. I was shooting with Josh, so I was kind of intimidated. So
Oh,
I was
you
shooting-
did
Right now, I
shoot with
gotta
Josh.
shoot
so I
good.
was shooting good. I'm shooting with Josh. I started shooting good with Josh. I'm like,
Yeah.
I felt good.
Yeah.
It's like he shows up, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, dude.
Yeah, I'm stoked you guys met. By the way, that was one thing I wanted to happen because I told each of them before the event. I said I got someone I want you to meet because I told Josh you got to carry these tripods, and he goes, "Yeah, I'll do it." And then I told him, I said I got a guy who I think you should have carry your tripods,
Right.
and then you got to shoot together. It's classic.
Yeah, that's
you know?
cool.
Yeah, he was super cool dude,
Oh,
man.
for
I'm like,
sure.
dude, it's like salt of the earth.
Yep.
Like I can't believe like my brother-in-law used to work at Chili's.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd always be like, hey, what should I get at Chili's? What should I buy? You know what I mean? Like, hey, how's this burger taste? Even out years later,
Yeah.
Dude, everyone's asking Josh questions.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
And
Josh,
he
what-
never
wait.
gets
And
tired.
he
Never
never
gets
gets
tired
tired
of
of it. I'm like, Josh, don't you get...
He actually wants people to do.
focuses on you
Yeah.
and he answers you thoroughly.
Yeah.
And he doesn't
Oh,
like
dude,
he
I
doesn't
couldn't
throw you a
believe what a
bone. He
good
just
guy he
frickin'
was.
zeroes in.
I watched
He was
Josh
intriguing to
Oh,
talk to.
How
because he
you-
knows so much. The guy he's so smart.
Yeah.
But the coolest thing I saw of Josh, and I know like how cool he is, but I was sitting in the practice range doing giveaways, and Brianna is separate, so we have separate jobs. She runs up, and she goes, "Hey, someone just blew up their bow. They dry fired it." Josh is sitting there. He goes, "Well, I gotta go." Just
I
gets
got a
up and
job,
goes
yeah.
and fixes it
Yeah.
Yeah.
with a
He wanted
tie
to
down
try
strap because he didn't have a
ratchet
bow.
straps.
Yeah.
No, so we did get a bow press eventually, but then something about it wouldn't work on one of the
It
bows.
was too short.
Again,
for the
too
bow.
much over the head for me, archery knowledge wise.
The bow
Yeah,
was too long.
is that what it was?
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
and then one he got the whole thing pressed together so he could put on strings, and then he's like, "Where are your strings?" And the guy's like, "Oh, they're ruined." He's like, "Well, what am I doing? You don't have any strings. I can't do anything with your bow."
Why am I
So he's
doing
like, "All right, back that one back out, hand it back." He's like, "Sorry, bud, you got to take it to the shop." Then took the next bow immediately, did that one, put that one all back together.
Oh, more than one bow got blown up?
Two bows at the same,
three got
three
dry
total.
What the
Yeah.
heck?
It's because you're talking and having
Yep.
fun, and
Yeah.
like
I've seen it
almost,
happen many times.
I've
seen it
almost done it because
happen
you're
once.
talking, you go,
Twice.
Mhm.
Dude.
And not to mention, one, you're socializing. Two, you're kind of nervous because you're shooting with other people
And you're
and maybe
tired.
people you don't know, and you're tired.
Yeah.
So those three,
Skip
and I
steps.
told people like, don't be embarrassed by that. I've seen veterans do
Well,
that.
also, how many times have you seen the group go, whoa, whoa, whoa?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
And then-
stop
oh,
them.
Usually it's
man,
too
what
late.
was I thinking?
You'll hear stop.
Yeah.
I would love to know how many bows get dry fired at TAC. Like
Quite a few.
per TAC event, and then overall for the season,
Yeah.
it's got to be
Yeah.
an enormous
Telling you,
amount.
that's why when you get a new string, you keep that string as a backup. You know, keep it in your bag and have it handy.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Did you guys try the food trucks at all?
They're
I
out of
did not
food.
this year.
So that's the crazy
They're,
part.
out,
Ran
they're
out of
so
meat.
good. They're out of. I had to go to the restaurant, which restaurant was good.
Which one did you go to? The one?
The Henshaw store. Henshaw restaurant.
Oh, that restaurant is
That was
good.
pretty
I like
It's
it.
really good.
Yeah, I've eaten.
And the prices are like for out here low.
Yeah, they're old school.
Oh, I spent like $300. I
Yeah.
bought I bought
when you
like
bring the
15
whole
people.
team.
I bought Tricer. We had Tricer lunch, work lunch there. It was expensive.
And then we had, I was selling merch, right? We sold a ton of merch. I think we sold like 59 shirts or something, which I'm pretty happy with. And then we had Archery Evolution there selling the thing on her bow. It's like us. So it doesn't
Big
blow up
fan
your
of it.
sight when you set it down.
Dude, I bought that. He's coming on the podcast.
He said he had
Yeah.
sold more stuff at that event than like ever. But he's like, this is by far the most like action I've got.
He
I
told me
told
this
her
is the most
all five of us
successful
bought
one.
them.
Yeah,
Josh uses it.
yeah,
bought
and
it.
he ordered 50 to his shop.
Yeah, dude, Josh uses
Wow.
it. I bought it, and it's like,
50.
you can just lay your bow down. I'm so sick of like all
Yeah,
this like
same
stuff
here.
on your bow. Like,
Yeah.
you just lay it down, and then you can stock with it.
Yeah, oh,
It's
yeah.
really
That's
cool.
key.
He had me do push-ups on my
Yeah.
bow,
Yeah.
so I could put the full weight of my body on the bow. Never does my sight or even
The
the
mule.
edge of my mule touch the ground now. So if I'm just shooting and I need to set it down, I can flip it onto the mule. If I want to stalk and crawl across 200 yards, I can put my entire body weight. He filmed it. Me doing push-ups on the bow doesn't affect my sight. I was like, how perfect is this? Because it feels
Yeah.
nerve-wracking when you're sitting there stalking an animal and you're like this last stalk we did, and I'm crawling, and then you gotta like, you're worried, so like you place the bow up ahead and then try to crawl to it, you move it again, try to crawl to it,
Yeah.
and I'm like, now I don't have to worry that I've bumped my entire sight before I go to
Exactly.
shoot.
Yeah,
Like-
I bought one too.
Yeah.
The thing that I
$50.
liked about it,
Mhm.
$50 for cheap.
I use my dirt bike when I elk hunt and stuff. So I like the fact that I can bend it straight down, and then when I put it on my pack, I can hang it
Hook,
on
use it
that
on hook.
first, and then my straps are just holding it steady.
Mhm.
So
That's
I'm really stoked about that.
But yeah, dope product. It's awesome. But my point was that like I'm really happy the vendors did well because
I'm always nervous about that.
I was nervous about it and they did really well. The food truck, the Mexican food, he ran out of meat twice and drove to Don's and got more.
Damn.
And then the other guy, he came and ran out of food in 2 hours.
Yeah,
And
he
when
was supposed to be
drove
there
out-
till 9, till
He
the
told
end of
me
the concert.
I'm gonna bring food to
ran
last me till 9, and he ran out in 2 hours. So I was like, I guess the vendors
That
did
burger
well.
though, the
Yeah.
smash
Which
burger,
I'm happy about.
possibly the most delicious smash burger
Oh,
I've
yeah,
ever
it
tasted.
was
good.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
good.
so good. There was some sort of vegetable, I don't know if it was pickles or something in there. I don't know, but normally James knows I'm a weird eater, so typically all of that comes off the burger. I
Oh,
left
you're
it on
picky?
there. Yeah,
So
well,
she's picky.
Oh, no.
I'm not picky. I'm
Claudia's
just
picky.
strange.
Yeah.
And like I have to separate the food and I have to eat it in a certain order.
Jeez.
It can touch, but
It's a
like I
thing.
have to.
It
yeah,
is.
it's a
Wow.
it's an OCD thing when it
Yeah.
comes to eating for
No
me.
kidding.
But
Yeah,
very
you got
good.
it bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, James knows it. And if like, this is totally random. If like you have a steak and you have mashed potatoes, if you run out of one or the other, I cannot finish the other one. So I have to cut them in a way that I finish them both at the same time.
Yeah.
If I run out, then I give the rest to
Yeah.
James.
What a labor.
Which
Yes,
is great for
It's
her
tough.
to
It's
eat.
very tough for
She,
me.
Yeah.
and she doesn't
It's a
eat
lot of
leftovers.
mathing in my head while I'm eating.
Have
So
you
I
guys-
always get all her food, which is great for me because I love leftovers.
Have you seen that little video thing that's kind of trending on Instagram with dudes posting videos or women posting videos of eating with their husbands and trying to keep up with their pace.
No, I
Oh,
love it
no.
though.
Oh, it's comedy.
Really?
Not a chance I
Yeah,
could keep
because
up.
like she'll bust out a burger and fries and a drink or whatever, and the whole gag is she's got her phone going and it says trying to eat at my husband's pace, and they're like, all right, baby, enjoy, and the dudes are just boom getting down, and she's like, yeah, going bite for bite, and she's got a whole mouth, and dude's are and he's already bombed. He's like, oh my god, and she's trying to keep up, and then he's taking down some fries and swish, and then checks her out like, wow, like then the dude's impressed that she's keeping up,
Yeah.
but it doesn't
I
take
have to
very
look it
long.
up. I haven't
They
seen
just
it,
tap
but
out.
I couldn't do it.
It's I saw like 3 of them when I was rabbit holing,
Yeah.
so I think it's
Rabbit
it's
hole.
hilarious.
Oh.
But yeah, dudes don't care. We're just down the hatch. Watch out. Here it
I
comes.
love that.
That's
I like
funny.
when just like random trends or like challenges go crazy like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, me too. It's a different time. Sit there on your phone and be entertained. Like
Yeah.
that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm still of the generation that was, I lived my entire life until I was probably, 25, until I had cell phones,
Yeah, we were. I mean, I didn't. How old are you?
When I got a cell phone, I was. How old am I right now? Oh.
31.
Yeah.
Oh, you're younger. So
Yeah.
we didn't get phones, cell phones. We had pagers, right? So we didn't
Right.
get cell phones like our
Yeah.
senior year of high school.
Yeah.
And even then, so we didn't get like social.
How old are you?
38.
Oh, okay. I didn't think
So we got like the cell phone, like the little ones, like the T9, right? Or they get text like that.
Oh yeah, T9's legendary.
Yeah. So we the flip phones and that stuff.
So what are our high school graduation years? What's yours?
Oh, 4.
4.
09.
11.
Damn, I'm 88.
Dude, cougar.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like that?
Hey,
He's
I like
a
older
young
ladies.
child
Yeah.
to me over
I do.
here. Sometimes it's like having a child, but
I really think
Yeah.
though, I talk about that like generational thing a lot, is anyone born much after me, like pretty much had
Whole
a
life.
cell phone their entire life
Yeah.
and the internet their
Mhm.
entire life.
And their infancy, they were playing with the iPads and touchscreens
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, we didn't have so. We
I didn't even get a
internet.
flip phone until 8th grade, and then like the phones that do what they do now was way later. And then where I lived, we had dial-up and antenna TV, so
Yeah,
like I wasn't
right.
really thrown to the wolves
Right.
until way, way later, and
Yeah, I
the
think I had
technology
a-
wasn't there.
a Nokia block, like the.
Mhm.
Oh
It
yeah,
was like the mini version, the first mini version of like the normal block, like phones.
oh,
It
the
was just
big
like this
one.
big.
Yeah.
Big gray block. I had that first. Then I felt super cool when I got the Razor when the
Oh,
first
yeah.
flip phones
Oh,
came
yeah,
out.
yeah.
think I was in like 11th grade
You
by
guys get
then.
Nextels?
I did. Oh,
I
it was
did.
my favorite phone. The
We had
walkie
to.
talkie.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
construction-
right. I never
construction.
had one, but I
That was
remember being
instructions. We all had Nextels. You do
Oh yeah, it was the
Yeah.
bomb.
My mom had a black and yellow one, and eventually she gave it to me. That was my favorite phone. You could throw that thing across the house, hit a wall, and it wouldn't break.
You know what's even crazier though, to talk about people's generations is not necessarily the phones, but the music. The way in which you listen to your music.
Oh,
Because my generation was coming up with cassettes, but all of my uncle's dad, older brothers even in some cases, they were still rocking 8-tracks. And then CDs came out.
I
But
was in
my
the
era.
realm of
So,
CD.
to your
I got
point,
both. I
this-
got tapes and CDs. I used to make
Yeah.
tapes. We'd make
Yeah,
make
make
tape for somebody.
mixtapes.
Mix
Yeah.
tape stuff. Yeah, we
Yeah.
did that.
But now like you were saying though, the people born after you, they will only know digital music,
Yep.
Mhm.
which is
Yeah.
wild. Because
Yeah.
our music used to be portable, and when the album release,
Oh, the
I mean-
album
when
release
you
was
started
so
to go to the
exciting.
you didn't
store
go
to
to
get a
your
CD?
phone and
Yeah.
whatever. You had to go line up. If you were that stoked on it, you had to go there on the day it was getting
Yeah.
released.
What was it? I don't think they're in business
Walmart
anymore.
or-
FYE or
FYI.
is that what
Tower-
Tower,
FYI?
Records.
Tower Records.
Tower
is the
Records,
one.
the one at Sports Arena.
Dude,
That
case
was
in
my
point,
favorite.
my kid's in the hospital,
Huh?
and they only have cable. And he's just all been out of shape because there's all these commercials and stuff. And he's like, I want to watch Star Trek. I'm like, It doesn't work like that. This is what it's like.
You
have to
watch what's on.
You watch what's on.
Yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
that.
Dude, think
That's
about
why when there was 3 networks and there was only 3 things on,
Yeah.
you'd come to school or work the next day and you'd talk about, hey, did you catch Seinfeld last night? Oh,
Which did make stuff
Anyway.
more of an event because it's
It
like
did.
if you want to watch that '70s show, the new episode, you got to
Yeah.
watch Wednesday at 8 p.m.
I
And it-
remember
and it-
sitting
Now I
in
just
my
watch
mom's
16
room.
of them in a night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
uniting people too.
For sure.
You had
Mhm.
common conversations
Yeah,
around the water cooler, or when you hung out, you talked about things because there was less of choice. So there was, I don't know. I mean, there's a trade-off, right? There's more individuality now, but less then. But we all had that in common. So, yeah,
Yeah.
It is interesting.
it's an amazing change in our in
streaming.
America.
Streaming has been a crazy one, and I
Yeah.
think like you're almost starting to see the loop like come back to the water cooler conversation type stuff because now you see Netflix doing the Tom Brady roast live.
Yeah.
They're about to
Yeah.
do the Tyson Paul fight live. You
Or
know
they
they're
break
trying to
even
get an
series
MLB
that
or
they
an
do.
NFL
They break
or
the series into 2.
Yeah.
So like you'll have, they release the whole like half at once, so you can still binge watch. It's not like a
That's a
weekly
trip,
thing
too,
like it used to be
binge
like
watching.
sit down and watch like Desperate Housewives
Yeah.
is on this Sunday.
Yeah,
But then you'll get like a Christmas break. And then the
Yeah.
second half
Yeah.
of the season comes out. So
Back
you're
in the
starting
day.
to go
Yellowstone
back
did
to
that.
it.
yeah. Back in the day, if you wanted to binge watch, you'd
I
have to
still
go
wanna
with a
watch
shoebox
Yellowstone.
full of videos from your buddy's house. To watch the whole season.
Dude, like Crusty Demons of Dirt and stuff.
Oh,
would
yeah.
you be sharing the VHSs? Right? My parents used to have a video store.
Wear that
Miles
stuff
of
around.
tapes.
Oh no way!
Really?
So we had a video store. Yeah, it was great until Blockbuster came around. Blockbuster kicked my dad's butt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was rolling.
But
the
then
money,
they
man.
went
He had like
under.
yeah,
Didn't
he had
they?
a couple of them. Yeah,
Because digital
Hollywood
media
Video,
became a thing. and
Blockbuster,
now
didn't they get bought by Netflix like pretty early or something?
You don't remember Netflix? You used to order DVDs. They come
Yeah.
in the
That's
mail.
right.
You get them in the
That's
mail.
right. That's
You
how
would
it
go, or you could
started.
go to the gas station. They have
Yeah.
a
Red
Netflix.
box.
And you
Yeah.
could,
Oh my
yeah.
God, the
Red
red
box.
box.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I
we
think
used to
that's
hit
still
that all
there.
the
Red box
time.
still there.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
kind of wild.
Yeah,
that
But that
internet.
used to be the start of Netflix.
I have a DVD player in my trailer. It's a brand new trailer. So I went to we go down to the thrift shop, and I buy all the DVDs you can for like $1 a piece. So I got a whole plethora of just old '90s movies for
you
the
got a
kids,
DVD
and they
player.
play DVDs in the trailer. Yeah.
Sick. You know, one time when those portable DVD players were coming out that you could strap on the back of a car seat,
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I was a firefighter in our Bay Park station, and we had this old crusty captain. I'm like, yeah. He's like, what'd you do yesterday? I said, oh, my wife and I went to some place, Best Buy or something, to go look for one of those portable DVD players for for our car for our kids. And he goes, no man, why would you want to do that? He goes, I said, well, road trips and stuff, my kids can play their favorite movies. And he goes, Chuck, you're missing it, man. He said, on a road trip, your kids are a captive audience. You don't want to entertain them with that. You want to talk to them and preach to them and like school them. They're captive audience. And I'm like, damn, okay, that's another way of looking at it. Poor little prisoners in the back seat.
They're cornered. They can't go
But
anywhere.
even there's a trade-off, right?
Mhm.
Because now a parent, which I never could do this, but a parent could just toss a cell phone to a kid, pull up an app or
Kid
whatever,
gets
a
quiet
game, and the
real
kid's
quick.
gone. The kid's,
The kid knows how to get in an iPhone before they can even walk.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Actual babies.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not talking toddlers.
Yeah.
Babies, before they can say words, can learn to swipe your iPhone open.
Yeah.
Craziest thought to me.
Even I have walked up to screens before and went like this on it, and tapped it, and I've had people laugh and go, "That's
Oh, my
not
parents do it all the time
know.
on my because my dad's
Because you get
Your
so
dad's
used to
laptop's
that
a
now.
touchscreen, Yeah.
You know what's interesting is Claudia was a preschool teacher, and she had been in that business for a long time, and the people that she worked with had been preschool teachers for decades, and they literally in real time they noticed the loss of manual dexterity by the next generation because of swiping and touching and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's literally, they see the actual lack of development, because think about what people of my generation were doing. We were doing building blocks and all this crap.
If
and
we evolve, we
we
will
thought
not
it was
have
just
pinkies.
keeping
It's
us
a useful
busy.
Useless finger at this point.
Yeah, we
well,
thought it-
other than the shelf for your
Yeah,
phone
to hold
sit
your
up.
phone in your
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah, you would think that it was just to keep us entertained, but it was actually teaching us manual dexterity and
Mhm.
hand-eye coordination. And so, like, you wonder about surgeons in the next 15 to 20 years when these kids who never developed that manual dexterity, it's going to be something. Some
Well, by
interesting-
then all surgeries will be just
Yeah, it might be robotic
electronic
and everything.
or
Yeah.
robotic, and
Yeah.
it'll
That's
be
what they
machine
said.
that-
5G was going to be like
Yeah.
the change a lot was surgeries because doctors could be in like New York doing work on
Yeah.
someone in LA, and it's like there's zero delay from.
Scary though.
My brother-in-law is a surgeon, and his son's a doctor now. But he got him into radiology because he wanted to do surgery, and he said, I'm not sure that you have the dexterity for it. So I really would encourage you to go another route.
Mhm.
So, but,
Well, at least he heard it then getting into school and they,
yeah,
Yeah.
heard it from
Mhm.
as being unsuccessful. But
yeah.
What a great combo!
yeah,
I love it.
what's funny
You
is
doing
that,
good over there?
I am. I love
so
it.
me being a firefighter and a paramedic, and my brother-in-law being a surgeon, every time we get together, we talk about stuff and cases or whatever. And I'd say, like, Alex, how was your day at work today? And he's like, I had a pretty interesting case. I'm like, oh, yeah. He goes, I had an oncology case where a person had esophageal cancer, so I took out his esophagus. Then I dissected a section of his intestine, and I replaced his. I'm like, holy crap, I started an IV.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing, the stuff the guy can do.
Yeah, no.
Surgeries.
Meanwhile, I'm over here like, I wrote a press release today, and I
Right.
drove some visitors around for a tour.
Yeah,
Uh,
crazy.
Well,
But his kid loves shooting the bow.
he does.
Yeah.
He came
Yeah.
to a shoot.
That's right. Oh, we got him a
Came to
BD
shoot.
shirt too.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Let's go.
He's.
oh, that's the shirt that Claudia bought.
Yeah, we want to get him an AccuBow. Have you guys ever used one of those?
I have seen
I've
the
seen 'em, I've
ads
never
for
I've
it.
never used one. But
Yeah,
he is down in Mexico
I think Bruce
City.
sells them.
Cool.
I
Does
think.
he?
I think
He's living in Mexico City, and he's kind of stuck to a room that he's renting at a house.
It's the one you can put your
You can
phone
put your
on,
cell
right?
phone, or you can put it on your TV, and you can shoot.
yeah.
He can target shoot in his room. And so Claudia and I thought, well, he's got a 4-year residency. We might get him an AccuBow,
Yeah.
and that way he can at least plank.
And again,
shoot some
you can
animals
do
and
draw
stuff.
cycles and whatnot.
Yeah. So, yeah, he gets into it.
It's right.
He came out and did shoot
Yeah,
once, huh?
we shot with him at
Alex?
Balboa,
That's
Scott,
right.
and then
Yeah, and he had a couple
we
nice
kept him to
shots.
tap room after because it was your
That's
birthday. I
right.
think.
That's right.
Was it your
was.
birthday?
Yeah,
I think it was. Yeah.
That's right. We went and had
Classic.
pints.
Classic.
That's right. Tap room.
Well, I appreciate everyone coming on here. I think we're about an hour in, which is where I cap out because the editing on these is not that fun. So past an hour, I'm like, okay, we got to wrap it up. But any closing thoughts? BD Challenge 2, and should people come to 3? Any closing pieces?
I have a personal closing piece.
Okay.
Something I wanted to tell you was that when I went there and I walked those courses and I saw them, it was only at that moment that I realized how much work you guys put into that. And then I immediately felt like a terrible friend. So Claudia and I talked about
Scott's
this
down
all the
work
way
now.
home. We next year, I'm all in.
Yeah.
I want to come out and help you guys. I want to do some heavy lifting for you. Claudia wants to hook up with you and get hooked to the booth and help you out with the
Sweet.
t-shirt booth
I
and the
hear
merch.
some. Oh yeah, we got to talk offline about some merch options that Claudia knows about.
Oh yeah,
I
she
want-
does. Yeah.
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 I'm very
So-
interested.
Yeah. I just can't. It was amazing. It was great, and I thought, again, from the bow hunter perspective, I got everything out of that shoot I wanted, and an amazing weekend. Yeah.
Appreciate that, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same here. It was a lot of work.
Great.
Yeah.
But we got plans next year. A lot of people been wanting to volunteer, like, dude, let
Nice.
me out.
Yeah.
So we got plans. We don't want. We're gonna basically set like a few dates where
Like
it's like,
work
hey,
parties?
if you're
Right,
exactly,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
And if people want to show up, bring your tools, and we'll put you on stuff and just.
Yeah.
And James is gonna work on getting his hand out of the cookie jar.
It's
It's very hard for
Yeah.
him.
I did better this year, but
You did. You did. Yeah.
Drew, you got any closing stuff?
If I'm in town, I'll be shooting the shoot every year.
Perfect.
And I can say, if it wasn't for Brianna, that thing never would have happened. James, you all right? Brianna, man, she really is the glue that
Background
holds
stuff
this
counts.
thing together.
Yeah. Logistics.
So you guys both did good.
Yeah.
I told him, COO, when
Thanks,
he gets there, I just need a minimum. I won't say the number on camera. For me to quit a daytime job. I'm perfectly fine being the, glorified secretary, as you could say. That's my job in real life, anyways. So, but he'll get there. I know he will,
Yep,
because
he will.
he has the personality and the determination that
For
some
sure.
people do not have. So.
Yep, I have one of those gals for me, Yolanda. Because James is like me, so we're like, oh yeah, but there's no like, she just keeps me like organized. You know what I mean? Like I have all these ideas and she gets it done. So she's like my doer. I'm like a visionary. There's a good book called Rocket Fuel. You should read that book.
I will read it.
It's called Rocket Fuel. So there's
Oh,
visionaries and there's integrators. And you, without an integrator, a visionary is nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
So you need someone to
I'm
kind
not a visionary.
Yeah.
I'm an
It's
integrator.
where you cop out with the I'm an idea guy, but you never fulfill those.
you gotta
have
get a
that
good
person.
you gotta get a good team around you. So that's
Yeah.
what I think I've learned. You get a good team around you. It's good. Read that book.
I
Rocket
will.
Fuel.
Rocket Fuel. I
Fuel.
will read that. Brianna, has you got any pieces you want to close with here? We're kind of doing a round table close.
Don't pick up rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
That's a good lesson.
Yeah.
Good lesson.
But to point out, it didn't happen at the.
Yeah, this it did not happen
happen
at the venue. Yeah, I guess I'll just close with, appreciate all you guys coming in, being my friend, all of you, and the help, and the advice, and just the kind words. I think things went really smooth. Can't wait for next year. If you want to mark your calendars and you're watching this, you can mark it down for the third weekend of May. That's the weekend the shoot's been on for
Always the weekend before Memorial.
the weekend before Memorial Day. It used to be called the Oak Valley Challenge, and
But
then
no,
we
it's
turned
2
it in.
weekends before.
It's the third weekend.
It's
of
2
May.
weekends
Third
before.
weekend.
Third weekend of May.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, third
yeah.
weekend.
Because Memorial Day is, I won't confuse you, third weekend of May.
Third weekend
Yeah,
of
I was
May,
trying to math,
and,
that's not for me.
Henshaw's had that shoot forever. For like the last 20 years, it was called the Oak Valley Challenge. The last 2 years, it's been called the Bow Disciples Challenge. We're going to keep that thing rolling, and we look forward to seeing you there. Tickets probably go for sale probably February 1st, and it'll be bigger and better, and I enjoy it, and I can't wait to see
Come
everyone
out,
there.
Camp, have fun, bring your family.
Well,
And get more prepared shooting your
kids'
bows.
course,
So you
we
can
didn't
be.
talk-
Oh, kids course.
Kids course was incredible.
I had
It was
to
awesome.
twist some arms.
Did your
I
son
had to
shoot
twist
it?
some arms
So
to make
my-
a kid's course
my
happen.
little kid shot it, had a blast. He was pissed off because he went like 10 for 10. But his
Nice.
air, he wasn't using the sharp ones because I don't like to use the sharp ones because he's a little bit of a psycho.
Yeah.
So he kept bouncing, so he's all mad because I think I posted it right. He hit him. He's like, I missed. I'm like, oh, you hit him, but bounced. But my 10-year-old did the big courses with us, and we just walk him out because the courses there's such good lines to the target. So we were able to get him to shoot like on the with the bow and arrow shop course. He would just shoot 30 yards, 20,
Yeah.
30 yards, and
Yeah.
just he was able to shoot it. So he shot the whole thing with us. It was a good time.
That's
Awesome.
cool. Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, family event for
Yeah,
sure.
Totally
that
family
was a
event.
nice touch.
People brought little tiny kids. People brought their grandparents. People brought their parents. Like it was full age range and just people having fun vibing. I always say that like a lot of shoots, you shoot and you go home.
Yeah.
This you shoot and you hang out with people, make new friends, make new business connections, just meet people that do the same thing you do, and have a great time. So we'll see you guys next year.
Yep.
Thanks to Drew from Tricer for coming on. Brianna, the COO, for coming on.
I don't even know what COO actually
Chief
stands for.
Operating Officer.
Oh yeah, that's a perfect
And
name.
Chief Adams for coming
Yes.
on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you guys,
Yep.
and we'll see you in the next podcast 7 months from now.
Nice.
So I hope you enjoy. Subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 1,000 on the podcast channel because they're a lot of work, and I would like if I made $10 per video. So, and that's it.